Hey, home coasters. I am Emily Woods. Welcome to my podcast for home buyers. Many first-time home buyers or even seasoned buyers find the process to be a bit overwhelming. The emotions, the nerves, the financial commitment, but also the dreaming, the excitement, the pride. The home buying process is a roller coaster. Think about when you go to an amusement park. They have this ride that everyone is talking about. There are all these ups and downs, twists and turns. Some people are raving about how amazing it was. Then others are upset that they ever got on board after having an anxious experience. I believe that those who had a negative experience are those who were not mentally prepared to get on. Nobody prepared them for what to expect. A friend pushed them to ride even though they didn't want to. And then with so much fear and confusion before the ride began, it was just a recipe for disaster. However, those who had read about the ride, knew how fast it would be, knew about the ups and downs, were expecting some surprises, but had accepted the possibility of those surprises ahead of time. Well, those people were able to enjoy the ride despite never having experienced it before. See, they were prepared before they got into that car. My site, homecoaster.com, is designed with that concept in mind. I want to provide first-time riders with the resources they need to smooth the ride. If you are prepared for the real estate process before you begin, then you will be able to enjoy it even though there could be some surprises along the way. If you haven't listened to the first 2 episodes in this particular home buyer podcast series, I encourage you to go back and check them out. In episode 1, I talk about getting your finances in order, and in episode 2, I talk about finding an agent. So now you should have your team of professionals in your corner, and you are one step closer to beginning the hunt, which brings me to today's tip: exploring neighborhoods. Do not look at one house until you have narrowed down your neighborhood. Some agents won't even work with you unless you have done this step. I know some buyers who began their hunt before choosing a neighborhood. When you do this, you end up looking at dozens of properties all over the place, and you end up really confusing yourself. A house in one neighborhood is not necessarily comparable to one with the same price in another. See, when determining a property's market value, a seller's agent will look at a few factors. First, they will look at the home's size and condition. Then, they will look at the home's location. Some areas demand a higher price simply on location. They're a higher, more desirable area. I mean, think of a beach town with lots of activities, shopping, dining, and scenery compared to maybe a rural town which, although may have beautiful landscapes, they might not necessarily be close to any activities or shopping and dining. So the beach town is going to have a higher demand than the rural town. They also will take property taxes into consideration. I personally work in an area where property taxes vary significantly from one town to the next. My point here is what you can get for, say, $200,000 in one town may be very different from what you can get for the same price in just the next town over. So don't drive yourself crazy. Choose your neighborhood first. This way, you really are comparing apples to apples during your search. I say it all the time. You can always update a house, but you cannot change its location. The community is an extension of the home, so you need to make sure you are happy there, and the location you are hunting in needs to complement your personal lifestyle. So let's talk about how you can go about narrowing your neighborhood. Some of these may seem obvious, but I'm throwing them out there anyway. First, it's probably a good idea to talk to your agent to get a ballpark idea of which neighborhoods are realistic to look at given your mortgage pre-approval. If your max budget is, say, $250,000, you don't want to get your heart set on a neighborhood where the average home price might be $400,000 and up. So once you have an idea of which areas meet your personal price range, go spend some time there. Take a drive around. Do you have a dog? Take him for a walk. If you're a runner, maybe go out for a jog around town. If you have kids, take them to the local playground. Spend time roaming around and looking at the community and looking at the houses. Do neighbors take care of their homes? Are there kids out playing? Are others out walking and running? These types of observations will indicate how locals feel about their neighborhood. Now, think about your lifestyle. What is important for you to have close by? Maybe it's shopping. Maybe it's restaurants, parks, running or walking trails. Maybe you need public transportation. Go scout out which neighborhoods have those. Maybe, how about trying out the local restaurants or checking out the local coffee shop? You should try to experience the neighborhoods as well. Are there theaters or bars or other attractions in the neighborhood that you can try out? Okay, so you get the point. Now that you've had some fun exploring neighborhoods, does one or two of those locations really jump out that you want to focus on? If not, it's time to make a good old-fashioned pro and con list. You really need to narrow your search down to no more than 3 neighborhoods. And those neighborhoods really should not be all over the map. You shouldn't have to drive more than 15 minutes to the next town that you have your eye set on. You really need to stay focused. Once you have your ideal location selected, your agent can set you up with a property search based on your budget, location, and house criteria. I set my clients up with a search portal where they receive notifications as soon as a new listing comes on the market or when the status of an active listing changes. Okay, you get the idea. Get out there and enjoy some neighborhoods. This part of the process really can be a ton of fun. That's all I have for you today. Make sure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay tuned for more ways to smooth your real estate ride.